What's up guys, DranrBeats here, and today I'm going to be making a beat for you to use and you to keep royalty free, for profit, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever you want. So basically what I'm going to do is just build the beat, show what I do step by step, and let's send it. Let's just do it. So I've already pre-picked sounds here just so I could save the hassle of, searching through sounds for like the first 20 minutes. I want to make this a kind of short video, but yeah, let's just get started. So for chords, I'm going to start with chords. I've already picked this sound right here. Let me show you what it sounds like. So it sounds like that, but I want chords, not plucks. So I'm just going to start with that. I'm going to be a little bit off screen. I might cut this out, but I'm going to find chords. I like those chords, so I'm going to record them. Okay. And then for now, I'm just going to loop them. So I'm going to soft quantize them using, call it 1/8, eighths, 1/8, soft quantize, lengths and ends. Let's see what we got. Okay, cool. Sounds good. For these first ones, what I'm going to do is actually put them right on beat so that it's easier to cut and loop. Because if you don't, with Cubase, it'll cut those notes off as if you, like how I just cut on this side, it would cut those notes off. So it'll just make it easier for me. Okay, so let's see what we got so far. Super simple. Okay. Now what I want is I want to add a little bit of flavor. So what I'm going to do is add Semantics Illusion, and I'm going to use the Moonlight preset. This is one of my favorite presets that they have, and I'm just going to remove the noise, the leak, add a little bit of drive, and set the filter back a little bit. Let's hear what it sounds like with it. Okay, sounds good. I like how it sounds so far. Maybe I'll add a little bit of reverb, but later on. Right now what I want to do is build the drums. So like I said, I've already pre-picked sounds to save time. So let me show you what the kick sounds like. So the kick is in C, the sample's in C, but the key that we're in, I believe, is in B harmonic minor. Yeah, B harmonic minor. So if the sample's in C, the kick is, or samples in C, the key of the song is in B. It's very simple because so the sample's in C. All I have to do is obviously just go one note down, but that's why like picking your samples is important, because if the key of the song, let's say, was in let's say A, this is what the kick would sound like. Or, which, I mean, this one sounds okay, but this one does not sound good. So you want to pick something that's gonna transpose or shift correctly, because if you don't, it'll throw everything off. But let's start with a kick pattern here. So let's see. And usually, like I always say this, I would use my MIDI keyboard, but I want this to be a little more visual. So I'm just going to place them with the editor. You want to use your keyboard if you have one, or your beat pad or whatever. Okay. So I think this kick pattern sounds okay. And then maybe actually one more right there. Okay, so now let's do the snare, which I chose a rim shot. That sounds weird, right? But yeah, I chose a rim because I wanted it to be a little more smooth sounding. Same thing, this sample is in C, so oh, there we go. Yeah, it translates, shifts pretty nicely versus something up there. Let's see. Yeah, that's not right. I gotta be right there. My bad. Is it here? No, it's here. Okay, so let's see. And I think that last kick needs to be moved because I want those snares there for sure. But the kick can always kind of, you can be a little more lenient with the kick. Snares, I think you want them on the 2 and 4 usually. Obviously, if you have a different kind of vibe or beat, you would change them. But for something like this, I think 2 and 4 sounds good. Maybe there. Maybe here too. One more kick. Okay, cool. So now that we have that, and what I like to do is build in sections. So I have a little bit or a smaller section here, but this can be copied and pasted to the rest of the section, I guess. So now I'm gonna do some hi-hats. Let's see what we can do. So same thing, samples in C, so going to B is not terrible. And then actually for hi-hats, I like to have my grid quantized a little bit more because I like to do more with the hi-hats, hi-hat rolls, hi-hat, blah, blah, blah. The cool stuff. The stuff that makes a good drum beat. And right now I'm just kind of placing them. It's almost a guess, but I know kind of I think what would sound good. So I'm just going with that. Because for hi-hats, I think they're very straightforward. I think people kind of overcomplicate them. And you just place it where it sounds good, to be honest. And you can like just play around with them. It's the best way to learn. I think I want to place one more note there. And then these I want here. Let's see. And then something like this. For these, maybe I'll let's see. Actually, no, that's not bad. We'll keep that. We'll keep that, and then I'm going to just lower the velocity on all of them. Because I like my hi-hats kind of low. I don't want them to stab your ears. Kind of how that snare is doing right now. Another thing, I'm not really going to gain stage right now. I'm just trying to build the most basic block of the beat so that you can get an idea of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. But maybe I'll do a little gain staging, we'll see. I don't want this to be a long video. So now naturally comes the 808, which I've already pre-selected, which is this guy right here. The Cymatics Quake, and I'm using the Funded preset. Sounds really good, and it's one of my favorite VSTs in the whole world. So let's start with the notes. I think the first one is a G. And then here it should change, I believe, to an E. And then I think next chord was F sharp, I believe. And then after the next chord, I think was a B. Should be it. Let's see. So let me just actually loop just this section. Let me lower this. It's a little loud. Actually, I'm going to lower everything because it's all a little loud. I'm just going to use the volume fader for now. Later on, obviously, we'll gain stage, but okay, that already sounds good to me. But I want to add more flavor to that 808. So let's see what we can do. So here, I think I want yeah, that sounds good right there. And then here, I think this one. I have to sneeze a little bit. We'll just go to, what is this? This is an F sharp. We'll try, and where's the F sharp at? Okay. Something like that, I think, works well. But the timing there is not right. I think I'm, yeah, a little bit too fast. And then right here, since this note is in the way of the kick, well, I'm going to drag it up one, just so it's more visual for me. And now I can see where the kick is. So I'll cut it right here, here, right here, because I always like my 808s right where my kicks are, pretty much. Okay, so now that I have that, I can bring the 808 back down, maybe find a pattern for that last part. So let's see. Yep, there we go. I know 808 is kind of hard to hear because this one I pre-gain staged a little bit, because whenever I'm recording, it always just comes through a little too loud and it kind of muddies everything off the rip. But I'll bring it up a little bit just so you can hear it a little bit better. This is what we got. Okay, so far so good. What I'm noticing is the drums are very simple, and the drums could use more. But before I do any of that, I think I want to build them more. So I picked a vocal sample that I think sounds really good with this, and I think it fits really well. So I'll show you what it sounds like. So I'll show you the original vocal sample, which is this. Actually, let me unwarp it.
Know what you do and you do it like that. Yeah. Know what you do and you do it like that.
Okay, so that's the original sample. I'm obviously going to sync it to the BPM. So the sample's at 190 BPM and a D sharp minor. What I'm at is B minor. So I got a few notes to go down, as you can see. But it still sounds good, even though the pitch shifted down a few notes. And with vocals, you know, you can kind of get away with it. With something like a snare or a kick, it's a little harder. But yeah, what I'm going to do is just keep basically the integrity of the vocal sample, because I really like it already how it is. So I'm just going to lay it down in B minor and let's hear. So that sounds pretty good already, not gonna lie. But also, I think what I'm gonna do is layer this with like a harmony of the same sample. And I think we'll try a few notes here. We'll try E, we'll try F sharp, and another B maybe. First, I'm gonna try B minor. If I can't really remember the relative minors. I think if we're in the key of B minor, I believe the major would be D, I think, which would give you the ability to use E minor, F sharp minor, maybe G minor. I'm just off the top, like I'm not actually 100% sure. I need to brush up on my music theory, but I think. So let's hear what this sounds like.
Know what you do and you do it like that. Yeah.
That's not bad. Let's try F sharp minor.
Know what you do and you do it like that. Yeah.
Not bad. Let's try B, although I think B is a little too high up there, and you start getting that like chipmunk type of sound. I gotta text my wife real quick. Okay, not bad. Let's go again. See that? I don't like that. We'll try D, and then we'll try F sharp minor. D minor, F sharp minor. So let's see. Okay, maybe we'll go with F sharp and see how that sounds. You know, it's hard to decide, to be honest. They both, I think, in my ears sound pretty good. So what I think, maybe I'll just have one at F minor, and then I'll have one at D minor, and flip-flop those in between choruses and verses or whatever. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, so let's see what we got so far. I'm going to play all of it now. listening to it. I think for now, because I don't want to mess around with it too much, I'm just strictly gonna have that B minor loop. So now I'm gonna go with a pad. And what I'm gonna do is make it very simple for myself. I'm just gonna copy these chords and I'm going to extend them to how they would be. So delete that, grab these, extend here, extend. This one goes all the way down. Delete this one, extend this one, delete this one, and extend this one. One thing I'm not too sure about is this pad. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not. I'll show you what it sounds like. So I don't know if I'm going to keep that. Maybe I can find something a little better. We'll see. But I do want a pad for sure, I think. Let's try this one here. And we can, the good thing about putting the chords down, so laying the chords down first, is that now you can just switch between sounds and listen to what it would sound like already as if it would be in the song. That sounds okay. I think that one or that first one I had was, they were both pretty good. You know, from here you can decide what you want. Like, usually it's all dealer's choice, right? Like, yeah, that's the good thing about like music production is you can do whatever you want, whatever sounds good to you. Obviously, it has to work to some degree, but I like this one. And I'm gonna lower the velocity on these. I don't want them that loud. So I'm gonna bring it all the way up first and then bring them down so they're all at equal levels. I also have a sax in here. I don't know if I'm actually gonna have it in the beat, but let's see if we can find something that's good and fits, right? Okay. So no. Um right now I'm just kind of messing around, seeing if I like anything. And then I think the last note I'll do a high B. So now, well, actually, Let me extend these. I think obviously, I say obviously too much, but it's going to be easier and sound better with your what's it called, your MIDI keyboard or MIDI pad or whatever you have. But for the sake of it being visual, I'm doing it this way. So let's see what this sounds like with everything. That last note. Nope. I think this one's good right here, actually. We'll keep that. Let me duplicate this. Duplicate this. So I think this is the core of the beat. This is what is going to drive the beat. Everything else is going to be basically, I don't want to say ear candy, but it's just going to be the dynamics of the beat. So adding a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Deciding how it starts, deciding how I'm going to end it. Transitions from verse to chorus to intro to whatever. Everything else is just add-ons, but I think this is the base. Like, this is the meat of the beat. I think right here. Oh, no. The sax, I want the saxophone. I think I want a high note here. Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think I want to make the sax have a little bit less movement. It's a little too bam, bam, bam. I think maybe slower and longer notes. Because I want it to be not so... I want it to be like in the back, so I don't want to draw a lot of attention to it. It's just going to fill the space. Okay, cool. The last thing I'm going to do is I want to add a little more to go with this main melody. So something that's also in the back, but that's going to give it a little more oomph and flavor. So let's see. Okay. Something like that, but I think I want this a lot lower. So for now, I'm just going to use the volume slider and see around where I would have it. So yeah, that gives it a little more beef. Makes it a little beefier. Cool. So yeah, this is like the chunk of the beat that is gonna bring the heat. Why am I rhyming? Chunk of the beat that brings the heat. Maybe I should be a rapper. Anyways. Cut. I think I'm gonna loop this for another 16 bars. And then bring this guy in with the drums. And then and maybe no hi-hats here. Just to transition to the verse. Maybe I'll have the pad on too, with the pad. Yeah. Cool. So now what we would basically have, right, is intro here, the chorus slash more intro, verse. Maybe I'll extend that by another 16 or maybe 8, and then I would have the chorus verse again, or chorus intro. A lot of people use their intros, especially, you know, when they first come in, to give like a nod to the chorus. So they're always going to be very similar, especially with pop. You don't have to do it, but it's something to keep in mind. Okay. So for the sake of time, I don't want to keep you guys here for the next hour. I'm gonna cut it here, just because this is basically the meat, the meat of the beat. Damn. This is the foundation of the beat. So I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna mix it. I'm gonna master it, and then I'm gonna post this video. So when you go to download the beat for free, like I said, royalty free, for profit, all of that, it'll be ready to go. Right now it's not, but now, you know what you're getting now. You know what it's gonna sound like. You know the vibe. So if you want to use it, you know, you go ahead and do that. So yeah, basically, this is how I build my beats. This is my process. I know I didn't go a little too in depth, but maybe for other videos I'll go over sound selection, or maybe a little more depth in music theory, stuff like that. But this is basically it. So if you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, share it maybe. Right now I am in YouTube jail. Maybe it's because I'm Mexican, but yeah, that would help me a lot. That would help me get out of YouTube jail. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you like the beat.